Hello. Yes, my hair is wet. Because guess what? I went jogging this morning, right? I'm going to get healthy. I am healthy, getting healthier. So, yeah, jogging. But can I just recommend, it's not a good idea, jogging in 80-degree heat. I was going to go earlier in the day, and then I lost something very important to me, and I freaked out and ripped my whole room apart looking for it. And then by the time I found it, which God was telling me the whole time, can I just say, um, this is a side, but he was like, do you not trust me? I got this. Does Romans 8:28 not say that I work for the good of all those who love me, those called according to my purpose? I got this. You're going to find it. You're going to find it. And I was just losing my mind, and I found it. And then when I found it, I was like, yeah, God, you did tell me that. And I shouldn't have been so crazy, and I'm sorry. But anyways, it was 11 o'clock by then, and I could have banked out on the run, but I did that yesterday for some reason. I think I waited too late yesterday too, and it's a good excuse. So I laced up my shoes at 11, what time of the day, and ran. It was 79 degrees. It was ridiculous, but I did it. So I'm going to get stronger, I'm going to get healthier, and not only with our physical bodies, but spiritually as well. So I did my reading for the day, and this is kind of what I wanted to share with you. This message is for the Christian Christian leaders that listen to my videos. Maybe not leaders, even Christians. Let me explain. Excuse me. So I'm reading in the book of Joshua, chapters 1-5. And so what's happening here is that God promised the land to Moses, and Moses was disobedient, and then God said he could not come into the land. The next generation would. And Moses has passed away, and Joshua is being raised up. And Joshua wastes no time, by the way. God speaks with him and says, go take the land. And Joshua's, he's pulling people from the tribes. He's getting his army ready. It's also the part of the Bible where they talk about Rahab, my girl. When I did it all at Sunday school a couple weeks ago, we did Rahab. Anyways, not what I want to talk to you about. Listen to this. So they have to get from one place to the other to claim that land. In biblical times, when you put your foot, on the land, that was you claiming it. Now, of course, the Lord has to go before them. So they get the Ark of the Covenant ready, and the priests with the Ark carrying it, and they get down to the river. And what I wanted to read to you in Joshua is this. Joshua 3. So all the Israelites, Joshua gets the Israelites, and he tells them, this is how you will know the living God is among you. He's going to part the waters like he did for Moses. So we go down to verse 14 where it says, so the people broke camp to cross the Jordan. Now, the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. Because God always goes ahead of you. Now, the Jordan is at flood stage all during harvest. Yet, as soon as the priests who carried the ark reached the Jordan and their feet touched the water's edge, the water from upstream stopped flowing. It piled up in a giant heap a distance away in a town called Adam in the vicinity of Zarethan, and the water flowed the water flowing down to the Sea of Arabah, that is the Dead Sea, was completely cut off. So the people crossed over opposite Jericho. The priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord stopped in the middle of the Jordan, stood on dry ground, while all Israel passed by until the whole nation had completely crossed on dry ground. And so I was reading some of my notes on this, Joshua, and I kind of drew my own conclusion here. And it says the priests were obedient. The priests had to, they're carrying the ark, and the priests have to, in flood season, which they thought they could be carried off down the river. But the priests were obedient because Joshua told them what the Lord had said to do, and the priests stepped into the water. And my little note said, only the priest's feet had to get wet. And I was like, So as priests or leaders or whatever, sometimes as leaders, we have to like step into the water because we have to show that we believe God will do what he says he will do for others to follow. So while the priests were obedient to what God said and their feet got wet, that meant freedom for the people. Because if the priests had not taken God at his word and stepped into that water, so the water didn't part, they saw dry ground and then they went. No, they stepped into the water and then it parted. And then they kept walking to the middle and then it parted. And then all of Israel crossed on dry land. All of those people were saved, got promised land because the priests got their feet wet. Because they stepped into the river and believed God at his word. So it was a real message to me today because yeah, I'm human and I make lots of mistakes. We didn't got time for that video. But it did speak to me because we spoke about this at church on Sunday, that your life, whether you like it or not, is a walking, talking, you're like a walking, talking missionary if you're a Christian. Like what I live, what I say, what I do, like it should be a reflection of Christ. It's not always. Again, that's another video. It's not always. Sometimes I fall short. Sometimes I'm in rough patches. So please, do not look to me as but I'm trying. And I thought to myself, God speaking to me saying, sometimes you might not see it yet, but you do it anyways. Get your feet wet. Because once you get your feet wet, it'll start to materialize. And then think of all the people behind you who will be saved. Because you took God at his word and you did it when you couldn't see it. And then you did it, it happened, and everybody passes by on dry land. And like I said, my little note in my Bible I wrote, the priest's obedience - wet feet meant freedom, dry feet for the people. So, if you happen to be a leader, or like I said, I don't even think it's leader, like Christian in general, if God is telling you to do something, reminiscent of my, sermon on Sunday, if God's telling you to do it, do it. Even if you can't see it. Because how many times in the Bible, how many times in real life do you not see it yet? But the minute you start acting on it, believing in it, because you know God said it, and then everything opens up and changes. Had these priests not stepped into that river, they'd been like, listen, Joshua, it's I believe they said it's flood stage all during the harvest. It's a flood. And you want us to carry the ark into the flood. What? Yes. And I love it when they say, yet as soon as the priests who carried the ark reached the Jordan, their feet touched the water's edge. The water from upstream stopped flowing. Their feet got wet. And then everybody else passed by on dry land. So, word for you today, you might have to step into the water. Get your feet a little wet. Take a step that you're not really comfortable taking yet. Take a step that you don't necessarily see the other side yet. But here's the tricky part. As long as God told you to do it, good things. Because not only are you saving yourself, not only are you seeing God's blessings for yourself, but you'll see it for your people, whoever your people may be. Family, friends, church. And seeing you step into the water and take a chance. You never know where that might lead. And you opening up the way for another person again. Interesting. So, you might have to get your feet wet. All right. Hope to see you soon. It's my beautiful niece's, Allison's 10th birthday. Woot woot. Happy birthday, Allison. I know she doesn't see this, and her, but if her mom watches it and wants to show her, happy birthday, Allison. She's 10, two hands. That's enough. She's done growing now. But tonight I'm going to be at her game and, because cheering her on. All right. See you soon. Love ya.